we go.
Great. Thank you. Welcome. So we're reorganizing at our meetings this month, so I get to read the statement to get started. And then we'll do roll call and we'll have nominations for the chair. And then we'll work our way down the agenda. Okay. So as interim superintendent and acting chair of the Seabrook School Board, I find that due to the state of emergency declared by the governor as a result of the COVID-19 pandemic, and in accordance with the governor's emergency order number 12, pursuant to the executive order 2020-04, this public body is authorized to meet electronically. Please note there's no physical location to observe and listen contemporaneously to this meeting, which was authorized pursuant to the governor's emergency order. However, in accordance with the emergency order, I'm confirming that we're providing public access to the meeting by telephone with additional access possibilities by video or other electronic means. We're utilizing Zoom for this electronic meeting. All members of the Seabrook School Board have the ability to communicate contemporaneously during this meeting through this platform, and the public has access to contemporaneously listen and, if necessary, participate in this meeting through dialing the following phone number: 646-876-9923 and webinar ID 921-8150-4829, or by clicking on the following website address that's listed on the agenda and also listed on the SAU 21 website. Providing public notice of the necessary information for accessing the meeting. We previously gave notice to the public of the necessary information for accessing the meeting, including how to access the meeting using Zoom or telephonically. Instructions have also been provided on the website of the SAU 21 office at sau21.org. If anyone has a problem, please call 603-926-8992 extension 114 or email at dtuite@sau21.org. In the event the public is unable to access the meeting will be adjourned and rescheduled. Please note that all votes that are taken during this meeting shall be done by roll call vote. Let's start the meeting by taking a roll call attendance. When each member states their presence, please also state whether there is anyone in the room with you during this meeting, which is required under the right to know law. We can go ahead with the roll call.
Forrest Carter,
Yes, and I'm alone.
Jennifer Hubbard,
Here with family.
Jessica Brown.
Here with family.
I'm going to skip over Kelly Huber. I know she'll be coming late. Christina Kaiser.
Here. Kelly's here.
I'm here too. I'm alone.
Okay, so Kelly, I'll call you. I didn't even know that maybe Dave let you in.
That's okay. Here with family.
Thank you. Roll call taken.
Thank you. First, before I move on, I want to welcome our new board member, Christina Kaiser. Welcome. Thank you for being here. Obviously, Forrest rejoining us. And thank you to all our board members. Per Seabrook School Board Policy BDA Board Organizational Meeting, I will now accept nominations for the position of board chair. Would anyone like to make a nomination?
I'll nominate Jessica Brown, please.
I'll second.
Who did the nomination?
Kelly.
Kelly. Okay. And was that you?
Jen second.
Jen did the second for Jessica. Give me 1 second. I like update this. Okay.
And so we can have a roll call vote.
Forrest Carter,
Yes.
Jennifer Hubbard,
Yes.
Jessica Brown. Does she
Abstain, I guess.
abstain, right? I'm not sure how that works. Kelly Huber
Yes.
and Christina Kaiser.
Yes.
Vote taken.
Thank you. And I'll turn it over to our new chair.
Okay, so I'm trying to get the, let me see. So now, the appointment for, board vice chair.
That's
Do we
right.
have a nomination for vice chair? I'll nominate Forrest Carter.
I'll second that.
Okay, so 1 second. So Jessica Brown nominated and Jen Hubbard second. Do you want me to just go ahead and do the vote?
Yes.
Okay, sorry. Forrest Carter. Well, okay. Well, Jennifer Hubbard.
Yes.
I just go down through a list, sorry. Jessica Brown,
Yes.
Kelly Huber,
Yes.
and Christina Kaiser.
Yes.
Vote taken.
Okay, I don't have a list, I don't believe, of the rest of the committees.
So I believe we've put them in there
All right,
in the, if you
okay,
don't
I'm trying
have,
to figure out, let me see,
I can read them if you don't have them.
let me look, trying to get, oh, there we go. Oh, there. Okay, so SAU Operations Committee would be our next.
Yes, so for those of you who are new,
Those of you that are new, we usually kind of like just speak up if there's a committee that you're interested in being on. But if you want, we can try to explain what each committee is about if somebody would like to explain Operations Committee.
happy to do that. So the Operations Committee really is the group that sets the agenda for the joint board meetings. So what we do is we put an agenda together, and the OC is representatives from all of our boards on that committee, and we review those agenda items.
I wouldn't mind doing that if nobody minds.
Okay. All right.
So
Go ahead, sorry.
that's okay. I was just gonna say, there's just one vote built in here. It's not like I'm gonna vote. There's gonna be a vote for each and every appointment. So I think you guys
Right.
go through all of them first. Okay.
All right, so let me see, and then the next we have an alternate for the operational committee. I don't mind doing that if you guys want me to, because I sat on the board this past year for that. So I don't mind being the alternate unless somebody else wants to do it. No takers?
Go for it.
All right. And then we have policy committee, so SAU policy committee, and then an alternate for that as well. If anybody is interested in doing that, that's available. So you just review policies and you know, that are already in effect that may be changing or added to, or new policies.
I'll do
I'm not-
that.
Frequency of the meetings, but
I'll do that, Jess.
was that, who said that? I'm
Kelly?
sorry.
Kelly?
Kelly?
It was Kelly.
Okay,
Kelly.
she's lagging a little bit on
Oh,
my end.
sorry.
And then policy alternate. Who would like to be the alternate for that board?
I'll take that. It's fine.
Okay. And then, excuse me, because I have to flip back and forth here to the screens. So negotiations is not needed this year. That's usually negotiations for like contracts. So we do not need the SEA negotiations or the CESPA negotiations this year. So then we move along to facilities committee. I believe Matt can explain that. I think they meet once a month, Matt.
Yeah, it's more on a quarterly basis. But if more meetings are needed, well, if there's a certain project that's occurring, or we'll meet more frequently, but regularly on a quarterly basis.
Okay.
I could jump in on that. I think I was actually on there last year and we didn't have any meetings, so I'd be happy to take that on again.
Perfect. And I can be the alternate if you want. I've sat on it years back. All right. And then we have the budget committee that is for the town of Seabrook. We have each like board, we have, you know, the selectman has a candidate on there, and then we have a school board member that represents the school board. So that's basically what that will be, is sitting on the town's budget committee. Also, they review the school's budget. That one is a lot of work. I've done it a few times. Not sure. I know there's a few people that probably conflict of interest because they work for the town. So that kind of makes slim pickings of who would like to do that.
I can step in to do that if maybe there's some guidance in the beginning, just getting started, but I would be willing to do that.
Okay, yeah, they start, it's a long one. They start early before, you know, budget season. They meet 1 to 2 times a week for maybe a few months, and then you know, each like department will come in front of you with their budget, and then they'll come back in front of you again. And so, I mean, they'll walk you through the process. It is a lot and you learn a lot. I think everybody should sit on that at one point, because you learn a lot of where the money goes and how it's spent. And yeah, it's interesting for sure. A lot of work, but interesting. So I appreciate that. And we'll have a alternate for that as well.
I can jump in and be the alternate if that's helpful.
Okay. So if you can't make a meeting, Christina, you just let Forrest know, and you can give him like the agenda for that meeting or whatnot, and let him know what's going on for that meeting.
Okay.
Great. And I think that we have New Hampshire SBA delegate and delegate alternative. I've never sat on that one, so I'm not familiar with that.
So for that one, I believe it is just attending one conference or seminar, one meeting of the year. You're representing your district there. It's a nice learning experience. Matt, is there anything beyond that one meeting where the representative goes to the NHSBA meeting, to your knowledge?
Yeah, so that's the only dedicated meeting. However, that representative would be responsible for, you know, staying informed about the various potential legislations, and then also to coordinate with the other school board members to determine how the board would like to act. So that's not one person in isolation.
Thank you.
Any takers for that? No.
I mean, I'd be willing to do it. That's, again, it's more relative to whether you want someone new to do that or you want someone that's been.
I've never done it.
doing it for a while.
So if you're willing to jump in there, that's great. Cause I think I'll probably have my hands full with the chair position, and I'd appreciate that if somebody wants to jump in and do that for sure.
Sure. I can do that then.
Okay. Do we have an alternate for Christina for that?
Kelly, I saw Kelly raise her hand.
Yeah, I'll be an alternate if she can't make it.
Okay, perfect. All right, and that's all we have, I believe, for those. Yes. All right. And then we have public comments. I'm not sure if we have. any
So
public
I think we
comments.
vote on that. I think we motion
we
to
vote on
approve the
that.
following committee appointments.
Okay, so we're looking for a motion to approve the committee appointments from today.
I'll make a motion to approve the committee appointments for today.
Perfect.
second
Do I have a
that.
second?
Kelly, I'll take Kelly. Okay.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
So Caroline, do I have to do the roll call because it's on Zoom?
I think you do have to do it by name.
Right. So Forrest Carter,
Yes.
Jennifer Hubbard,
Yes.
Jessica Brown,
Yes.
Kelly Huber,
Yes.
and Christina Kaiser.
Yes.
So I'm going to just quickly read through to make sure I have it written down correctly. Is that okay? So I have for SAU Operations Committee, Jen Hubbard, alternate Jessica Brown, Policy Committee, Kelly Huber, alternate Jen Hubbard, Facilities Committee, Forrest Carter, alternate Jessica Brown, Budget Committee, Christina Kaiser, alternate Forrest Carter, and for the New Hampshire School Board Association, Christina Kaiser and Kelly Huber as the alternate. Thank you. Motion or vote taken.
All right. Do we have any public comment tonight? All right. So we have approval of the minutes for February 1st, 2021. Looking for a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve those minutes.
I'll second.
If you want to do a roll call.
Give me 1 second, just going through. Forrest Carter,
Yes.
Jennifer Hubbard,
Yes.
Jessica Brown,
Yes.
Kelly Huber,
Yes.
and Christina Kaiser.
Yes.
Vote taken. Actually, Christina, I'm gonna have you abstain because you weren't here for.
Abstain.
Right, okay. And vote taken.
All right, perfect. Thank you. Next, we have the superintendent's report.
Thank you. So I'll just highlight a few pieces to my report, and I'm happy to take any questions on it. I'm thrilled to say that all students in all grades of SAU 21 have the option of being in school 5 days per week as of Monday, March 22nd. So the Seabrook Middle School is well underway for that planning, and I'll let Erin Milbury talk more to that, but we're thrilled that the plans and all the logistics and the teachers have done so much work behind the scenes for planning and preparations to bring our students in. So we're thrilled and we're grateful for all of that work. So thank you. Of course, we had elections last week, and we welcome our new members and congratulate our continuing members. Welcome. We're underway. We're continuing to meet with new board members. We met with Christina. What was that, last week? Time flies.
It was yesterday.
It was just yesterday. It's been a
Yeah.
long, yeah. It's been a long 24 hours. So it's fantastic to welcome our new members. We're looking forward to our joint board meeting next week. So at that time, we will identify a new joint board chairperson from the Winnicott District. We'll have a presentation around equity and diversity that will be a collaboration with SAU teachers, alumni, curriculum administrators. So we're in the midst of planning that. We'll be bringing policies to you for a second read. We'll talk about the interim superintendent's goals and evaluation, as well as the calendar. So we'll have an item regarding the calendar and the February vacation of 2022 that we'll be bringing to the joint board for a slight change. And those are the highlights from my report. Thank you. Whoops, I think you're muted, Jessica.
Thank you, Carolyn. Is there any questions for Carolyn? No? Okay, we'll turn it over to Assistant Superintendent's report.
Sure, thanks. You can see I've submitted my,
Can you give me 1 second? All of a sudden, my computer said cannot run MCP on this meeting. So I don't know if I have to log out and log back in.
It looks like it's still recording.
Yeah,
Yeah,
this
okay.
is recording, but on board docs. I'm gonna just hit start meeting again and see.
And these aren't voting items, so this is just
Right.
informational. So I think we can,
The only thing is, it's where I take my notes. Just give me 1 second. I'm gonna log back in. I've never had that happen before. So weird. All of a sudden, it won't let me. It won't let me, I'll just take hand notes.
okay, you also have my written report, Deb, so.
Yeah.
You pull it off
Okay.
that. Great, so yeah, I'm gonna have to change this March 9th planning from future tense to past tense. We actually carried out our professional development day on March 9th. It was a roundly successful day, SAU-wide professional development. And really the highlights were twofold. In the morning, we had a facilitated discussion around race and equity. And we had liaisons both from UNH and Keene State College come in and run a conversation with the entire SAU around equity and what we're doing to serve all kids. I think a lot of people got a lot out of it, and we were actually able to break off into building level groups to analyze our own building structures and strengths and weaknesses. And right now the equity team is reviewing that information and all the feedback we got. Likewise, the afternoon was fun. We had a keynote speaker, Joel Catt, who talked about primarily self-care, but also caring for our students. And I thought it was very timely, considering the change in models that we're all going through, and we're getting back into the classroom and developing those relationships again with each other and with our students. So I'll just say that was a successful day, and we got a lot out of it. Trimester 3 transition and reporting for K-8. It's important to know that one of the side effects of having the Remote Learning Academy kind of tie us all together as an SAU is, as we unwind, we've actually been able to put all of our reporting schedules on the same calendar. So what I've reported down there, or what I put down there, is the calendar for end of trimester 2 and beginning of trimester 3 across the entire SAU. So that's when you can expect different reporting progression to take place. Certification updates. It is certification season again, believe it or not. We have 114 staff members across the SAU that are up for recert this year. We are in the process of making sure that not only do they have their hours, but their hours are applied to the right content areas, and make sure that we're kosher with the New Hampshire DOE. I'll just plan on giving regular updates with certification to you guys as we move forward throughout the spring. But right now we're in good shape. And oh, lastly, so this kind of got obscured due to a lot of things, including COVID. But we did end up finishing last spring the math program review, and I wanted to make sure that I put it just so that, it wasn't lost to it in board docs. But we did a really comprehensive look at where we were with our math programming across the SAU. With respect to Seabrook, we really did make a lot of changes, particularly with the program that we chose, and that transition between Seabrook Elementary and Seabrook Middle. And also about how our Seabrook kids transferring into high school and the leveling and the recommendations there. So you can read all about it in the report, which I attached. And I wanted to give you guys an update that we do anticipate, once kind of the dust settles and things get a little bit less muddy from COVID, doing the same thing with respect to world language, taking a look at what we have across the SAU for programming, what we need in terms of professional development, budgeting, planning, seat time, etc. So that's where things stand with respect to curriculum instruction. I'm happy to take any questions if you have any.
No questions for Dave? Thank you, Dave.
Okay, thanks.
We will move along to the SES and SMS principal report. Erin's doing both those hats, so can go ahead and read the reports.
All right, thank you. So I put them all in one report because I figured that was probably going to be the easiest, and I'll just kind of read down through. Some of it applies to both. As Caroline mentioned, we are plugging through with some exciting things happening third trimester at the elementary school. Their schedule remains the same and they remain in person full time, which is exciting, but also taking in some more students from the RLA. So families that met the deadline and asked to come back in have been accommodated, and that's taken certainly some work and some flexibility, but they're making it work, which is great. And at the middle school, we are going to 5 days a week. So it will be the same daily schedule, but every student will be in all 5 days. Again, that's certainly taken a lot of work and time and flexibility from the staff, but I can't say enough about how much our teachers have just said, yes, we will do whatever it takes to get kids that want to be in. So to the extent that we've been able to, we've gotten kids in. And we do have a couple of grade levels that are really maxed out. And so there are a few families that just asked this week, could they come back in, and didn't make the deadline, unfortunately, but I've told them that we could certainly put them on a waiting list. And if we have students move out or, a change, and we will take them in if we're able to, but we've been able to accommodate a lot of students, and it's certainly going to be different, but we're excited and the kids are excited. They're happy to be coming in 5 days. So feel like that's a big success. And in doing that, the top of my report is just the thanks and recognition. I think we've probably said this a lot throughout the year, but I don't think it can get said enough, because there are a lot of people to thank in this whole process. And it's been a challenge, and we've hit the year mark actually of COVID-19, and it's all that it has brought to us. So it's pretty crazy to think that a year ago this time we were just headed into remote for the beginning of this journey. But just thanks to teachers for tirelessly teaching. These are hard times, and when I say teachers, I don't mean to lump everybody into one category, but also it's school counselors, it's occupational therapists, it's speech therapists, it's all of those people that kind of fall under a teacher contract, but they're all working with students every day and working hard. Thankful to our nurses who are helping to keep kids healthy, but consulting with students and parents and with administrators in terms of just all those medical questions and all those things that come up daily, making sure people are doing their screening daily. Thanks to EAs for all of their support. Certainly classrooms couldn't run without them, and they've been amazing and wonderful too. Covering classrooms sometimes because we don't have subs, you name it. We've asked them to do lots of different things. Administrative assistants, they're the ones that keep our offices running and answering questions and just making sure schedules are all set. Our nutrition department, who has been delivering lunches and is, I can't say enough, because one of the things I was worried about with going to all 4 grade levels at once was, can you deliver 4 grade levels at the middle school at once? And they just looked at me and said, well, we're not going to know until we try. And just that willingness to be flexible, to make it work for kids is amazing. And so far it's going well. The facilities staff, for all that they do, to all the extra cleaning, obviously, that they've had to do, but also helping us work classrooms to make sure we can fit desks in safely, to make sure that we're still 6 feet apart. And just to make sure that all those safety protocols are being followed. They've been awesome. The tech department, Chromebooks coming and going, lots, with technology issues, the more we're using it, the more issues we're having, Chromebooks needing to be repaired, things like that. They've been awesome too. And just also the SAU staff for all of their support, because all of our districts and school level staff couldn't do it without the support from you guys. So just thanks to all of those people. Sorry to be long-winded, but again, I think that those things are important. It's tiring. People are tired, and I think people are feeling it, but I also see people just plugging through and doing what they need to do for our kids, and just a lot of what's best for kids. We're here for the kids, and I'm proud of that. Academic program and updates. At the elementary school, certainly I haven't been over there for too long, so I don't know all of the fun things but a couple of things, just, third grade is continuing to do their maple sugaring unit, which the kids love. So we're seeing them, the trees are tapped and they're working together as a team to do that. So it's nice to see the kids getting to do some fun projects. And they are all working on looking forward to better weather and thinking about how to be creative about getting outside and doing some other things to get outside of the classroom. I know in the fall they were outside a lot, and the winter's been long, but so the teams are working together to come up with exciting and different ways for learning for the kids. And we're looking forward to some better weather that will make some of that even more possible. And certainly welcoming to those students coming in from the Remote Learning Academy, and they're working this week to make sure that those transitions happen, so that teachers are Remote Learning Academy teachers talking to Seabrook teachers. It's nice to see those transitions. It's nice to see teachers excited to welcome new students, and they should be sending out letters soon as well. For the middle school, I did include pictures. I promise you I'll get you some elementary pictures next time. Our 7th grade science and math teachers have been doing STEM Wednesdays, and this is just one of the activities that they did for that. So getting the kids doing some hands-on stuff in a safe way, and they really loved this activity of that's a leaf blower and a ball, and they were doing a little experiment with it. Someday we'll be able to bring kids in to show you these things in person, and I look forward to those days. And then I just wanted to note that in 5th grade, they made Valentines, and those went to Meals on Wheels. The kids were really excited. I had asked for pictures, and I didn't have a picture of that for you, but just trying to add community and kids learning about what's important in the community and doing nice things. Miss Flaherty has been teaching in 5th grade all year, and just want to recognize that that's been a challenge because she's our school counselor, but it's been awesome because the 5th graders have gotten a ton of social emotional learning, and it's been great. So we appreciate that she's been doing that, and they really enjoyed making the Valentine's cards. And I'm quite sure I can speak for the folks that were recipients of the cards that they loved those too. And just a thank you to Hobbs House. Shannon Flaherty, our school counselor, went, and they have a day where you can go and kind of do shopping for all kinds of things that they donate, prizes and supplies that kids might need. So Shannon's great about, she went and picked up as much as she could so that she has stuff for kids here, and the kids love that stuff too. So thank you to them for their donation of that. And some important dates. There's no school tomorrow. Again, I know we talked about, we had PD yesterday. Tomorrow's a district level PD where there's lots of important stuff going on at the elementary school. They're doing some work with some social emotional learning and some work with CARES, which is, the soft skills part of the report card. They're starting to dig into that, and also spending some time in teams and working on their grading and reporting for 2nd trimester. And at the middle school, we are spending some time with John Vanderels working on rubrics, and they have some team time. And then the middle school version of CARES is Habits of Learning, which is our, we're digging into self-direction. We'll be doing some work with that in the afternoon. So that's a day packed full for staff with a lot of stuff going on. And then Trimester 3 is the 22nd on Monday. I think everybody knows that date because it's the big day. And just picture retake parent conferences we'll be doing at both schools at the beginning of April. We pushed that off a little bit just to give staff some more time to be able to report out well to their families, and then vacation. I think that's all. I kind of lumped in the returning to school with my report, but if people have specific questions about any of the going back into school or the report in general, I'm happy to take them.
Any questions for Erin? Go
I have a
ahead.
question. So Erin, I think this is all great news. I just have, I just wanted to touch base on the Chromebooks a little bit, if that's okay. I know that the kids that are in person are still reliant on the Chromebooks a lot, and I'm just wondering when we're gonna kind of wean off of that and go back to instruction more based on learning with teachers versus the Chromebooks, because I know that, I mean, my boys are in 4th grade and I know a lot of what they're doing is still on the Chromebooks. So I'm just, I mean, kind of go back, when are we looking into maybe phasing out the Chromebooks and going back to what we were doing prior to COVID?
I think you're going to see that not necessarily happen this year while COVID is still happening, and while the potential for having to quarantine or go remote is still there. I think the main reason you're seeing, well, it's twofold really. They're using Chromebooks for consistency because it's programs that they want kids to be familiar with and be able to, if we have to go remote or a class had to quarantine, be able to continue to do so because they would need to do it at home. So they're keeping them on the Chromebooks while they're at school for that consistency. And the other piece is that, you know, some of the things that we've learned to do with technology is great. Having said that, you know, I recognize that we don't want kids necessarily on screens all the time. And I think you'll see that when teachers can get outside and do some more stuff outside, that might, there might be a little bit less of that. But the main reason really is just the consistency, so that kids aren't having to figure something out when they go home to do the remote learning. It's seamless for them and they can just continue on. But I
Because
would
the
think
goal
that,
is to eventually wean off of that, correctly?
yeah, I don't think that, I mean, I can't speak 100% at the elementary school, but I think you'll see kids using Chromebooks going forward, maybe, but perhaps not as much. I mean, I think there is still technology to be used and there's a lot of validity to technology, but no, I don't know that it will be as much. I think some of that is definitely just for the consistency, but there is a lot of, they're teaching kids some technology skills that they will use in life as well. So it's just finding that balance, I think, of some of the great programs that exist, and teachers have really explored and found all kinds of new stuff because we needed to use the technology. But the positive side of that is that there are some great things that kids are able to learn on. But it's not, I mean, it's not the only way that they learn. Certainly they're still reliant on teachers. Teachers are still giving instruction. So they're not learning through the Chromebook. The teachers are still doing the instruction, but some of the tools they're using are through the Chromebook.
Okay, I'm just hoping that it definitely decreases by next year because it's a lot.
Any more questions for Erin? Okay, we'll move on to finance with Matt.
Thank you. So we have included the year-to-date expenditure report and year-to-date revenue report. You know, that there have not been any significant changes from last month, but I am going to go a little bit more into detail since we do have a new school board member, so that they're aware of some of our accounts where we're either over budget or under budget. So if you look on the expenditure report, we're in real good shape overall. On page 1, you'll see we have a significant available balance in regular education of in excess of $300,000, and this is primarily, if you look by an account level, there are a number of salary accounts that we have available balance where we have savings due to those salary accounts. Moving down on the same page, in page 2, you'll see special education. We're over budget by $64,000. This is primarily due to the tuition account, which is out of district placement. So if we send a student to a school that's that addresses a student's special needs or services, then we pay tuition to that school. That's over budget, as well as professional services. That's when we bring in like a contracted service, such as, you know, an occupational therapist or physical therapist, SLP, those type of services. Additionally, our legal account is over budget by $25,000. That's, as you as many of you know, that's a highly variable account that can be volatile year to year based on need. Moving down, still on page 2, you'll see under student activities, our salaries for coaches, advisors has available balance of in excess of $40,000. And this is a reflection of not being able to have our sports in many of our activities for much of this year. We do anticipate having some form of athletics this spring, so you'll see that account will be debited. Or on page 4, you'll see we have our improvement of instruction department, so that's a lot of the professional development and workshop seminars that we provide for our teachers, as well as tuition reimbursement, our curriculum coordinator's salary, and that's pretty much in line with previous years and what we've budgeted for. Our computer instruction department on page 5 is over budget by a little over $20,000, and this is owing to the some of the technology investments that we've made this year due to COVID, some of the Chromebooks that we've purchased. Then just quickly moving through, on page 7, you'll see our buildings account. So I will note on the new furniture line item in previous months, that's been at a pretty significant deficit. And as I've mentioned in previous school board meetings, that was a reflection of the middle school locker investment that we made. However, that was always going to come back to a positive balance because that was being withdrawn from the building maintenance trust, and that has happened. So now that does reflect a positive balance. If you did note that difference. And then on page 8 and 9, you'll see special education transportation is over budget by $104,000. This is a reflection of transportation for our students with special needs, both for social distancing and then for unanticipated out-of-district placements. Also on page 9, you'll see transportation other is over budget by almost $60,000. And this reflects primarily, there's some foster care, McKinney-Vento transportation, but most of it has to do with our food service delivery. So we utilize buses to deliver meals to our students. So that's where this is coming out of. And then in benefits on page 10, you'll see we have we're significantly under budget. Again, this is a lot of FICA retirement that's associated with salaries that we're saving on salaries. So we also saved on those accounts as well. So overall, we're in good shape. And we'll have as we get close to the end of the year, I'll have an estimate as to, a potential end of year balance that we will return to the town to offset assessment. But we do feel at this point that there will be a pretty significant amount that we will return to the town. And that moves us over to the revenue side. So if you look at our revenue report, we have a few accounts that we have more revenue than we had estimated because, as I've mentioned in previous school board meetings, we've received some federal stimulus funds through CARES ESSER, the public school supplemental response funds. So you'll see that's the federal revenue through state is 131. That's the supplemental funds. The CARES ESSER funds, we're waiting on the second round of stimulus funds, and that's over $900,000. So we're going to go through that exercise of determining how to utilize those funds. And as you know, there was a third stimulus package. And we have not been told how much we'll receive or what will be allocated. However, we are hearing estimates that it's roughly 2 times the amount we received from the second stimulus package. So if that is the case, that's close to $2 million. So that's very significant and really provides us some opportunity to make some significant investment in areas where we may not have been able to do otherwise. So that's gonna involve some pretty significant planning from the administration, and we'll bring forth some type of proposal to the school board on how to utilize those funds. And once we actually get a real number, because we have not received the actual number that we're receiving. This is more speculation based on what we're hearing. The only other item I'll note is we did receive some insurance refunds. So you'll see we received $63,000 in health insurance refunds. We also received some refunds in property and liability insurance, owing to COVID and lack of claims. And we are receiving some additional special education aid, more so than we had expected. And this is a byproduct of those out of district placements. So I'd be happy to answer any questions in regard to either the expenditure or revenue side.
I just have a quick question. The 900,000 and the 2 million that you spoke of, is that just for Seabrook or is that district wide?
That is Seabrook. So,
for Matt?
I'm sorry.
Oh, sorry, go ahead, Matt.
No, yeah. So I was just gonna say that, the CARES ESSER funds are district specific. So, that is allocated for the Seabrook School District specifically.
I look forward to seeing what you have for ideas of where those funds will be used. Any other questions for Matt? Okay, so we'll move on to update on the superintendent search, please.
Sure, that can be me, and please fill in any gaps, other members of the committee, if there are any. So I'll keep it pretty brief. I know we have a non-public, and I haven't reported out on this to this board for a little while. In February, obviously, we went through the process of selecting our committee. We have a robust committee. It's of 16, and it's parents, it's staff members, it's community members. It's well-rounded. We obviously have members of the school board on it as well. This past early this month, I guess the week of March 1st, we really kind of leaned into determining and prioritizing the characteristics we're looking for in a new superintendent. In order to do that, we did a number of forums. We did a student forum, we did a community forum, and we did a faculty forum. And that looked much like this. They were big Zoom webinars where we were able to get feedback from all those stakeholder groups. We also were able to give out some digital surveys to those constituents as well, to make sure we had a good picture of what what all of our communities wanted in a superintendent. So that was kind of stage one. As we moved into the second week of March 8th, we had, obviously we're starting to pull candidates in. We did some interview training on Monday, March 8th, and we made the decision to increase the number of platforms that we are advertising on. And most recently, we've extended the deadline to April 3rd to make sure we've got time for any candidates that are out there to go ahead and apply. So we're kind of in a holding pattern now while applicants come in. Obviously, we'll be starting the interview process in the next few weeks.
Thank you. Are there any questions? All right. It looks like we have nothing for new business, correct? And then personnel re-nominations. Would you like to go in non-public first for that and then come out?
Yes.
All right, so looking for a motion to go into non-public
I'll make a motion to go to non-public.
All right.
I'll
so I
second that.
Believe
need
it's
to second.
under RSA 91A:3 to A through E.
Okay, Forrest Carter,
Yes.
Jennifer Hubbard,
Yes.
Jessica Brown,
Yes.
Kelly Huber,
Yes.
Christina Kaiser.
Yes.
Vote taken.
So Deb, I think for non-public, I think we only have 4 attendees, so we can bring them in and put them on hold if that's all right with you. We do have one call-in number, just so everybody knows what's going on. What we're going to do is pull the attendees into this meeting and then put them on hold so they can't see or hear anything. Meanwhile, we'll lock the webinar to make sure that nobody else can join. Oh, and you're bringing them in now. Perfect.
What do I do with the phone call?
Oh, good call. So for the call-in listener, what I'll do is I'll get your phone number on my phone and I will text you directly when we get out of non-public so that you can rejoin the meeting. But for now, we have to remove you from the meeting. Everybody make sense for everybody?
Okay, so I've already put them on hold.
All right. We need to stop your recording and we need to lock the webinar.
So do you guys want to go back, Jessica, and just,
I'll make a motion to come out of non-public and go back into our regular meeting.
And I seconded.
thank you. Forrest Carter,
Yes.
Jennifer Hubbard,
Yes.
Jessica Brown,
Yes.
Kelly Huber,
Yes.
and Christina Kaiser.
Yes.
Okay, vote taken.
All right, perfect. So first up, we have renominations. Trying to get back to my screen here. Let's see. There we go. All right, so we're looking for a motion for renominations for the school year.
So I think the first motion is motion to approve the interim superintendent's nomination of Peter Mora for the position of facilities manager beginning immediately.
Yeah, sorry, thank you. I make that motion.
Second.
Jennifer Hubbard. Okay. Forrest Carter, abstain, yes. Jennifer Hubbard,
Yes.
Jessica Brown,
Yes.
Kelly Huber,
Yes.
Christina Kaiser,
Yes.
vote taken.
Okay, and then on to contract renewals. Looking for a motion for those.
So we
Make
did.
that-
Oh, sorry.
So
we did
I
add
just want to
some-
make sure we're in the right order, right? The next one I have is teacher administrator renominations.
Okay, yeah, it's listed funky on my,
That's okay.
I'll make that motion.
all right, I'll second that.
Okay, so I'm just going to read it really quick. So motion to accept the interim superintendent's recommendation for renominations for Seabrook Schools certified staff, teachers, and administrators for the 2021-2022 school year. Forrest Carter,
Yes.
Jennifer Hubbard,
Yes.
Jessica Brown,
Yes.
Kelly Huber,
Yes.
and Christina Kaiser.
Yes.
Vote
There we
taken.
I found it now. I scrolled down a little further.
That's
Funny how
okay.
that works. All right, so elementary school principal contract, looking for a motion to approve. I'll make that motion.
Second it.
Who was that? Kelly?
Christina.
Oh, Christina. Thank you, Christina.
Mhm.
Sometimes it's hard. I'm like typing and, you know. All right, Forrest Carter.
Yes.
Oh, actually, should I read this? Motion to accept the interim superintendent's recommendation of a 1-year. Oh,
It's okay. Keep going.
sorry. Contract for Stephanie Lafreniere and the principal of Seabrook Elementary School effective July 1st, 2021. Forrest Carter,
Yes.
Jennifer Hubbard,
Yes.
Jessica Brown,
Yes.
Kelly Huber,
Yes.
Christina Kaiser.
Yes.
Vote taken.
Okay, looking for a motion to accept the interim superintendent's recommendation of 2-year contract for Lauren DeCosta as the curriculum coordinator for Seabrook School District effective July 1st, 2021.
I'll make
that
a motion.
Oh, go ahead, Forrest.
I'll make a motion to accept the curriculum coordinator contract.
All those in favor?
Do we have so who? I thought Forrest did the,
I made.
oh, you
Forrest
made the
made
motion. Thank you.
I'll second, and then we'll need a roll call.
Forrest Carter,
Yes.
Jennifer Hubbard,
Yes.
Jessica Brown,
Yes.
Kelly Huber. Kelly,
Yes.
thank you. Christina Kaiser,
Yes.
vote taken.
Okay, next we have a motion to accept interim superintendent's recommendation of a 2-year contract for Cynthia Fagan as the assistant principal of Seabrook Middle School effective July 1st, 2021. I'll make that motion.
I'll second that. I beat it.
Forrest Carter,
Yes.
Jennifer Hubbard,
Yes.
Jessica Brown,
Yes.
Kelly Huber,
Yes.
Christina Kaiser,
Yes.
vote taken.
Okay, and that's it, I believe, for those, correct?
That's correct.
All right, so we have next meeting dates, SAU 21 joint board meeting, Tuesday, March 23rd, 2021 at 6 p.m. Seabrook School Board regular meeting, Tuesday, April 13th, 2021 at 4:30. Then SAU 21 joint board policy committee meeting, Wednesday, April 14th at 4:30. And I believe that's all we have for today. If there's anything else, if not, I'm looking for a motion to adjourn.
I'll make the motion to adjourn.
I'll second that.
All right.
Is that Christina? And then Kelly?
Jen.
Nope, that was Jen.
Jen, okay, thank you. And I'm going to mark this unanimous.
Yes.
There you go.
Yes.
Thank
Vote-
you. Have a great night, guys.
Thank
And-
Thank you.
Have a great night, you guys.
Bye, guys.
Bye.